Thanks for joining my stream. My name is Rainy Cats, and I'm placing down the ice floor for my candy castle. When I started, I wanted everything to be edible. Um, there's a lot of delicious stuff on here, mostly sweet stuff, but ice is edible, so that counts. And here's what we're doing so far. And by we, I mean me and my free labor. I mean, my friend, uh, who is helping me out of compassion. I decided to stream to talk about the life-changing event that could happen to you on this server, which is becoming Player of the Month. Well, actually, it's not really life-changing. You just, it's a honor that doesn't come with a stack of diamond blocks. It doesn't come with any recognition. In fact, sometimes it comes with people saying you shouldn't have been Player of the Month. That runner-up should have been. So, the last two winners did have said they do not want to win again because it carries both the embarrassment and honor of being Employee of the Month and having your picture stuck up on the wall of your workplace. Or if you haven't started working yet, it's kind of like the teacher bringing you to the front of the class and saying you did a good job. And at first you're proud, but then they start praising you so much, the kids start kind of sniggering and calling you teacher's pet. So it's good, it's bad. Congrats to the past winners, Raven and Brockbrood. And now we're going to talk about who the next winner is. And I'm not going to talk about any one specific person. I'm just going to talk about what qualities I think the Player of the Month should have. Um, and the qualities I think they should have isn't specific. In fact, it's less specific than you might think. Some people say it's the most helpful player who should be Player of the Month, or it's the person who has the most diamonds, or it's the person who's best at Minecraft, it's the person who's nicest, it's the person who's done the most for this server. Um, I think those should all be qualifications. I think eventually I wouldn't mind seeing everyone win Player of the Month as long as their unique qualities are recognized. Because that's what makes the server good. If everyone was exactly the same, everyone built exactly the same and played exactly the same, that'd be a boring server, even if it was the best builds, the best player, the best of everything. What makes a server so good is the diversity in it. What makes a server good is remembering to hit the record button at the beginning of the stream. Uh, oops. Let's just, for example, look at the people online this very instant. So Horbad, Solar, Marker, Raven, Rayok, me. No way. No. No, I'm not becoming Player of the Month ever. Um, Tall, Flora, Kozak, Zeke. Well, for some of you who don't play on the server, these names mean absolutely nothing. Um, but to others, you'll definitely recognize some of the names. Uh, Person at the top is I'm so Horribad, and I've given a shout out once or twice to Horribad, who runs the best shop. Not only a shop that sells a lot of stuff, but a shop that typically sets fair prices that become the standard market price. Uh, Horvath could win it, for example, because he makes such an excellent store. He helps run the economy. Consider what would happen if Horvath wasn't around. Uh, I think it's the same as when Colonel Panic stopped being around. He had the farm setup, free farm setup that most people use. Now, a couple of the farms are being a bit slow, and has definitely had an impact on the server. Um, while some people might criticize Horvath's prices, I think they're all fair. I think it would be very detrimental to the server if Horvath was gone. Um, I think that's one reason Horvath eventually deserves Player of the Month. There is Solar. I can say with absolute confidence, our lovely server owner will never win Player of the Month. Not because of stuff they've done, not because of stuff they haven't done. There's always criticism for a server owner. Why haven't you updated this? Why haven't you come out with that? Why haven't you done what I asked? There's It's impossible to please everyone. I think Solar deserves Player of the Month. I'm glad that staff members weren't excluded because everyone will agree Raven was a very deserving Player of the Month winner. But being in a position of power, there's too many people who'd make a point to not have Solar voted because Solar has yet to add copper to the spawn vendor. And once you add copper, Solar, not only will I nominate you for Player of the Month, I will make sure you win it. That's like literally a guarantee. Uh, okay? But no, I'd vote for Solar. So you could say server contributions could make you Player of the Month, or economic reasons. Then there is the marker. The marker, that's a fitting name because the marker has marked so many claims around here with so many different songs. I think the marker, they claim stuff that becomes free, and they're very good at doing so quickly because after 90 days, your claim goes away. Um, I started this stream to blackmail. I mean to give a shout out to JLMCC. JLMCC is the organizer of the event, um, and made a rule where you could exclude yourself from the event just by asking and not becoming the winner. But honestly, you have to get a lot of votes to win Player of the Month. Wouldn't you assume that if you're unworthy of the award, not enough people would vote for you? It's a nice little event. It's the nomination was by Ravenjill, and that in itself is an honor to get nominated by Ravenjill, in my opinion. Um, so for those who are wondering why is JLMCC adding themselves back to the nomination list, it's because I cyberbullied them into doing it. In in fact, I actually you know what? Me saying this right now is kinda breaking my word of what I said I wouldn't do. Instead, let me just give you a quick, once over of JL's base. It's freaking out. This is this is their base, right? Yeah, JLMCC. JL is a good example of a player who doesn't have widespread popularity, but that's not that's not what he seeks. He's done a few favors for me. Like, do you know how hard it is to get those find those all the dogs? Because it's those snowy Grove dogs that I was looking for, the Snowy Grove wolves. And eventually JLMCC, who said they'd keep an eye out for it, actually got in touch with me and said I found one. All that time. Um, but that's not going to make JL well known amongst all the players. It's not going to get yeah, him Player of the Month. He just did it to be nice. Uh, I was very surprised and very touched about that. Most of the players who are going to get the award first are people know of, high-ranking people, people who've done nice things for a lot of people, and that's not to diminish saying they did it for popularity. They did not. But, there are some people who just don't have the reputation uh, of being well known that it might not work in their favor. I completely believe that JL should win Player of the Month at least 1 month, and not just because he's the event coordinator, but because there's a lot of off-screen kindness going on. Um, and that's for most every player. If one person nominates you, it's because you've done something very nice for that person. And that definitely doesn't diminish you. So, what I'd like to do is show the people who were nominated in the last one who weren't. Oh, it's been removed. Uh, oops, daisies. Um, wait, is there the Aug- August player? Sure. Um, oh, here it is. Here it is. The people nominated were Citrus Key, I'm So Horribad, Jizzy, Floor Turtle, Solar. Well, maybe Solar will win. Um, JLMCC. That was for last month. And my point is that if you're nominated, you've done something very good for someone, something worthy for them to think you deserve to be Player of the Month. So in some ways, I think the nominees are just as significant as the winners. The winners are just people whose good acts are well known, or in last month's case, Brock was trying to do everything she could not to win. Raven was trying to do everything she could not to win, and then eventually Raven pulled an Uno reverse card and told all her constituents to swap over and vote for Brock. So it was almost like Brock won, but she also lost. Uh, you decide. Um, there are more people online. There's Rayok. Um, once again, I could say all the general accomplishments Rayok did to deserve a nomination or Player of the Month. Rayok is an amazing builder, and he's an amazing builder of interiors who enjoys doing interiors. It's a rare ability, not to do, not necessarily to do a good interior, but to actually enjoy doing it. Rayok, right now, I'll say live on stream, help me. My What is is Brock doing all the rest? Help me with the interior. I have nothing. It's a castle, but it's empty. I have 1 or 2 ideas. Anyone, anyone help me with the interior. I'm not even pretending. I am not gonna be doing the interior alone, or it is staying largely empty. Be all. Back to player of the month. Should player of the month be someone whose building contributions are notable or who's a good builder? I think in some ways there should be a builder player of the month, but in another way, wouldn't it be pretty cool if someone won player of the month in general simply because of their building skills, not because it was specifically because they're a good builder? There are a lot of builds that aren't just good, they've defined what this server is. And it is, of course, as we all know, Neil's Children's Hospital. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But really, that thing's hilarious. Which is better, a build that is technically brilliant or a build that just makes you laugh when you look at it? It's hard to say. Do you like comedy or do you like, drama? We are all done with the ice, and, now we are gonna start on the castle. And we're gonna start with another aspect that might deserve player of the month. I kinda touched on it before, but how about one where player of the month is decided by who gets the most diamonds donated to them? Why pretend that, the election is bought with diamonds when it literally is? And hear me out. This server never resets. Some people have shulkers upon shulkers of diamonds. I'm not saying they'd use it, but, yeah, you have a good time. Well, grocery store. Uh, I hope the produce is fresh and the grocery shopping is fruitful. And how do I wish someone having a fun time at the grocery store? I hope it I hope it goes well and the lines are short. Um, s uh, uh, yeah, sorry about that. I can't really find a way to spin going to the grocery store, a, a really good thing. And now I need to decide which part I start with. Goodness gracious. We're gonna start with the, amethyst trees. Yeah. Mm. Strict attack on Quad. I don't know, maybe going to the grocery store is preferable to watching my stream. But as I was saying, why not make the player of the month 1 year just something that is a bidding war? Wouldn't you say that it'd be interesting if, no, you didn't hear that. Go get your groceries. Don't look at chat. No one look at chat. Moving on, uh Where was I before that imaginary, non-existent interruption in chat happened? Oh yeah, player of the month, a bidding war. It still says something if you won because someone who's rich would have backed you like a good investment. Of course, the rule should be that you can't vote for someone who is you or someone who is directly involved in having helped you profit. And I say that specifically for Horvath and Cassidy. I'm sorry, I can, but then again, they might not be born enough to simply buy Player of the Month. But I'm hard pressed to say that anyone is richer than Horvath. I'd be very astonished. Nah, that's not bad. But not only would the person get honor of being Player of the Month, they'd also get all the diamonds. uh, man, that would be that'd be something else. Stripped dark oak wood. What does have dark oak wood? 16 diamonds. I have um, I was begging for a leaf store to open, and then it opens at the time that I'm doing. Did one drop down there? Hey, I'm not so poor that I have to go down to check. I am, but I'll get better when I get my mystery boxes out. Who would win? Who would get backed by the richest players? And which of the richest players would be bored enough to bid their diamonds to get a player of the month? This server never resets, so the diamonds just keep piling up with nothing to do but look nice and to look nice in shulkers, unless you're me and I use them to I use them to make a diamond waterfall. Yeah, that's what I was grasping at. Who would win in a bidding war? How do you know that I am going to just take it with me? I'm not just gonna take you with me. You know what? If you come knocking on my door, then I'll end the stream and we will go get groceries together. Is that what you? And what should I do? Should I do one layer at a time for all the trees, or should I do one tree at a time? Oops daisies, in on easy place mode and getting saplings. We're getting into the harder part where I'm having to use builds with multiple blocks of them. Mention this. Lots of blocks to place on the lower parts, but at least there are just one block, like blue stained glass, my favorite block now, or ice or blue ice. Um, I meant to do that. Yep, totally intentional. I know. You'd have to ask Horvath. You'd have to ask Ravengel, maybe Solar, the richest players. I imagine it would be up to them, uh, who would be player of the month that that time around. This says it's facing the wrong way. Um, also says it's facing the wrong way. So what should we do? Have it continue facing the wrong way, or simply ignore that it's facing the wrong way? Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, they are facing the right way. See, there's no orange glow around them anymore. You know what? We're going to do, no, we're gonna do one tree at a time. I just kinda, I'm vibing with that better. Wait, no, you say you do one layer at a time for every tree? You know what? That would be the smarter way to do it. Would. I am taking your advice because you are player of the month. Just look at the people again online right now. There's Solar, the marker, Rhea, me, Mr. Tall Guy. Mr. Tall's pyramid is one of the builds that left the most strongest impression on me. It's a pyramid made from ores from this. That's just amazing. And the reason it made such a strong impression on me is it was one of the first big builds I saw on this server. And it wasn't just that it looked good made from ores, it's that anyone would think to even try to do it. There's so many just easier materials to do than ores. There's so many more easier shops to build than ores. It was one of the things that made me think this is a server I want to be on where people have the time and the will to put in so much effort and passion into a build. There's all sorts of reasons to like Tall, but personally for me, I admire his ability to think big. Um, it's one thing I've been working on. It's something I'm working on with this castle. I used to be all cottage core, tiny holes in the ground, very, very small. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I've always just wanted to be able to think I'm gonna make this entire thing, it's gonna be huge, and it's gonna be out of ores. In fact, as you may have guessed after hearing this, that's why I did my ore mountain. I was channeling a little Mr. Tall Guy. But I didn't wanna do the same exact thing he did, so I went, on a more natural approach. Tall and yeah, Tall also has the ore store. That's a tricky thing to sell. You wouldn't sell it if you just wanted profits, you sell it because that's what you feel passionate about. That is why I like so many of the builds on this server. They don't just take the easy way out. They, value effort in their builds and also as a player. Who else is online? Flora Turtle? Uh, Flora is nice. I remember I don't bring many people I don't know to my base, TP them. In fact, there's actually a big bouncy wall around, so the only way you can't get in from outside means. Um, but someone vouched for Flora Turtle, and she came and she looked at my base, and she said just the nicest things. Uh, Lovely, lovely person. I don't know enough about her to nominate her, but it's the job of a close friend to nominate somebody. So I would be very unsurprised if I saw her in the votes. Sir said one layer at a time, and I'm kind of doing it, kind of not. I gave the illusion that I was an organized builder when there was just one block to set, one layer to do, but that illusion is quickly going to be gone as you see me doing more diverse builds. I have no organization, and if I do, it's one of those things I'm working on. Improved organization, maybe, kinda. Most of the people who are nominated for Player of the Month probably don't particularly care if they win Player of the Month because they're nominated for Player of the Month because they don't do it for getting such an honor. They do it because they've done a nice thing without guarantee of any reward. So, my suggestion would therefore for Player of the Month, who should win Player of the Month? Well, you can always vote for who's closest to winning, of course. That's exactly what happened last time. Um, Brock got some votes simply because Raven Jill didn't want to win and Brock was second place. So you can, that was a smart strategy for Raven. Uh, but still, Brock got enough votes to be in second place. I will definitely point that out. Um, I would say not only vote for someone who has done something meaningful for you, but also state why. Maybe give a little maybe give a little case for it. I just talked about a lot of players who you didn't know what, they did for me, but now you do. And people who get nominated are those people. People who aren't as well known, but they've done something impactful. That's a very good thing. It's a lot of people who love this server, and they were among the first to win it. Because say what you will, Ravenblock loved this server. JL deserves the nomination. Why would he organize this competition and arrange the prize if he didn't feel this server, if he didn't think about this server? But the people who don't get nominated voted for, you've all done something for this server, unless you're Resi. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Resi. Of course you've done a lot for this server. A lot. You also kill turtles. What's up with that? This is a pro turtle stream. Anyone who enjoys killing turtles is not welcome on this specific stream. Uh, get with it, dude. Jeez. I'm not gonna say who I think deserves Player of the Month this this month, because much to my horror, I think there might be actually one or two people who would vote for it because I'm streaming this, when in fact you should almost not vote for the person who I would say is Player of the Month. Please do not think of me as an authority who should be Player of the Month at all. I I'll be candid. I vote for my friends. But like I said, being a friend to one person shouldn't be diminished at all. You are very welcome since you love turtles. And hi, Ronan, if you're still around. I can see who's talking in chat, but I can't see if you're watching the chat. So if I don't acknowledge you, that's why. I'm just building. Hi. Yeah, nice to have you on the stream. Out of curiosity, have you ever, are you a member of Semi Survival Craft, or are you just someone who came across my channel? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, of course. Oh, well, in that case, let me show you what I'm building. I just finished with the Ice Island. Uh, I designed this in creative, and now I'm creating this in survival. It is a candy castle. If you like sweet stuff, this is the place to be, and if you don't, and you're diabetic or something, then, this might hurt your eyes. Thank you, thank you. The sponsor of this video and my candy castle is my low-carb diets. You need a powerful reason to commit to designing your own castle and building it in survival, and I'd love to say it's my evolution as a builder. I'm ready to make a castle, but it's really just I really want to eat a lot of sweet stuff, and I can't. Oh, that is very good. Um, I had someone say, "That looked terrible." It's like, "Oh, okay." They're like, they couldn't taste sugar, and it's like, "Oh, oh, then it probably would look terrible." Sugar doesn't taste good to you. Fair shout. What is your favorite dessert or sweet drink to look at or to eat? I also love cheesecake. It's also this is strawberry cheesecake right here, Neapolitan cheesecake right here. So two kind of cheesecakes. This was gonna be cheesecake, but then I was like, let's make it a cake. Pink frosting. This right here is cheesecake, but it has it's one of the ones with extra toppings. It has chocolate and fruits on top. So it's more of a fresh berry fruit tart. Yeah, I'm a fan of cheesecake. Literal strawberry cheesecake right there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took me half a year to design it. One of the hardest parts was just avoiding making it like other castles. There's so many amazing castles out there. It'd be easy to fall back and just look up Candy Castle and make it. Uh, Most of the designs didn't come from builds of candy castles. It came from looking at the actual foods on Pinterest, like literally a picture of donuts, picture of cheesecakes. Kind of wanted to get across that feeling of deliciousness. Yeah, and a lot of those candy castle builds, they fell back pretty heavily on pink concrete, pink wood that didn't look like any candy, it just matches candy colors. I literally wanted just a lot of sweets smashed together, not a few candies and then just a bunch of pink. biggest problem was just staring at it and wanting to eat it. Sometimes I just sit there and be like, "Why am I making myself suffer making a mega build of all the stuff that I can't eat?" Maybe it helped. I kinda told myself that maybe it helped with, oh, player of the month is very simple. A player simply nominates a player they think is worthy of player of the month, and then they vote. There's not much, to the reward besides the clout of being player of the month. In fact, the first people to win it were very nice and didn't even want the player of the month. They didn't need recognition for their nice acts. Um, but you nominate them for a certain reason. Maybe they're a good builder. Maybe they have a good shop. Maybe they have a good personality. Maybe you're voting for them because you don't want the other person to win. It can be for any reason. Anyone can be nominated. In fact, someone withdrew themselves from the nomination, uh, and I used this stream to blackmail them into removing themselves from it. They were nominated. They deserve it. Could I be player of the month? No, I cannot. I there are so many nicer players than me on here. I'm not one of the people who says welcome when a new player joins. I'm not someone who gives handouts. I'm just here to build. I'm playing on this server because it is the best server to mass terrain on. You know, where you make your own terrain, your own mountains, uh, like this, but it's actually me terraining or this, uh, and then again, terraining an ore mountain. I wanted a server that never resets, and this server also has something where you can buy terrain blocks at with gold rather than diamonds, so I can actually acquire these blocks more quickly if I have a good gold setup. Um, and that's why it's the perfect server for mass training. It also has a community that values good builds. They make good use of the server never resetting, like this. Here is why I would not, even for my building skills, I would not win for it. I have some literal tall competition. Yeah, isn't this pretty amazing, right? And this is just a small part of it. Yeah, and it's on a public server. Has very high standards for being on a public server. Sometimes some top tier builders can make a private server to collect similar talent, but this server has been up for a long time. It's well run, regardless of what people might say of the server owner. There's some schematics mixed in here, but there's also a lot of, original designs. Where's Neil's? Like, this one right here. I don't even know what it is, but, uh, yeah, I love it. Who is this by? I swear I'm not griefing your stuff. I know I'm not trusted. Yeah, that's by Neil. Who would win? Player of the month because he not only has good builds, he has ones that are so outside the box. It does. I think so too. I love a server with good builds. It doesn't get me down. It gets me fired up when I see a good build. I'm like, yeah, I have a or a build better than mine. It's always fun to say I can always get better, can always move up. I'm always trying to improve. Uh, for player of the month, just earlier, I said I actually wouldn't say who that was to sway the tide of the vote, but I will tell you who I'd vote for player of the month if it had anything to do with building. Um, I'd like to think of a cute answer, some off the path builder, but it would be Neil. Neilius the third. Is he online? Oh, for player of the month, there's already gonna be someone I vote for. It's gonna be a friend. A very, very good friend. I'm running out of inventory space. It does. You vote for your friend. There's no rules that here or there about it. I need I need purple glazed terracotta. I do need to gather my own materials. I would never stoop so low as going to a friend's base while they're not around, uh, to steal their materials, especially not on a live stream. Where the heck is her purple terracotta? Am I missing it? I don't even think it's here. I think she's the terracotta lady. I think it's somewhere else. I think it's upstairs, actually. Or maybe she just doesn't think I'd stoop low enough to pilfer her items. Oh, there it is. Everyone just look away for 5 seconds. Okay? Yep, I decided to be noble and not steal my friend's items. You can look back at the screen now. Uh, oh, I'm out of rockets. But she's not watching the stream right now, so I don't have to worry. Yep. She'll never know. What do you think should make someone player of the month? What do you value? Good builds, uh, good redstone, good personality. Oh, you don't have to stay here forever. Uh, Stay here for a minute, stay here for a second, stay here for an hour. Yeah, just do whatever you feel like today. Thank you very much. But even if I don't get thousands of subscribers, I always do what I like. And I like live streaming right now and just talking to a couple people. If I if I have a million people, that'd be nice, but it's also nice to actually be able to talk to individual people. If a day comes where there's so many people I can't address each individual thing, it'll be something I miss. And the biggest reason I'm doing this live stream is because I do time lapses, and this much work, months of work, I didn't want to condense into a single 30-minute time lapse, cinematic time lapse. So if you want, keep an eye, and you can always watch the polished, edited time lapse after I finish this up. And you have a lovely day. Where's my brown box? Yeah, I hope you have a good time. Oh, there it is. Um, we are dyeing this something that doesn't blend right in with the other placed boxes. But if we'll go, I'll do at least want to finish this one tree. Do that by whoops daisies. I mean, you're wondering what food these trees are based off of. These are definitely just trees that aren't shaped like any candy, but I kind of wanted to give them the impression of maybe purple cotton candy or even that rock crystal candy, if you've ever seen it. Look up, look up rock candy sometime and you'll feels like it's kind of made from the same thing. But it's definitely one where I have to say I just made it because I thought it looked good, not because it identified as an extremely specific candy. This is definitely my least non my most non-specific build. Everything else you look and it's clear, yeah, that's an ice cream cone. That's a cheesecake, that's a root beer float, that's a soda pop. These they're just kinda crystal rock candy. They're not cotton candy either because the cotton candy trees are right here. Blue cotton candy and pink cotton candy. Talked to a lot of people from different countries, and more than one has said that sounds disgusting. Cotton candy. They'd never tried cotton candy. Uh, so I actually tried to get a lot of the generic, the well-known sweets. Uh, so many countries, so many different unique kind of sweet foods. Probably the one that I saw that I've never tried, that I want to try now is chocolate snails. It sounds disgusting if you don't know what it is, but look it up and it looks delicious, and I bet it tastes delicious. And I don't have much idea for an interior, but some of the interior is gonna have chocolate snails. They're kind of these pastries with round shaped with a swirly shape like a snail shell. But I actually made this version where it has that chocolate pastries with the snail swirl, but it also includes the snail. So it's a literal chocolate snail. And I got that from someone who was in Hungary. I don't know if it's a Hungarian treat, but I imagine I can find it somewhere. And for those desperate for a my face reveal to know a real fact about me, I am in the US. I don't really have any clever follow-up to that. I really don't think how you play Minecraft has much bearing on it until this build. I was asking people from different countries, do you have this dessert in your country? Do you know of it? Was trying to make sure everyone from every country would know of it. And if I'd ask them about cake, if you say, of course, everyone knows about cake. Well, I thought everyone knew about cotton candy. What kind of life have you led if you haven't had cotton candy? In fact, I met a few Americans who were like, I know of cotton candy, but I've never tried it. That ain't the American way. You need to have at least tried it. I mean, what does it taste like? It tastes like sugar, but it has that fun melt in your mouth thing going on. I will complete at least one of these trees. That's my goal, to get one of these rock candy trees done. And this is the time when I am going to change the visuals back to translucent because I'm having a little bit of difficulty telling which ones haven't been placed and which ones have. Okay. Now they're see-through and a lot lighter. Most of the time, when I choose stuff that I not only like to have as builds, but also enjoy the process of building them. But in this case, trees are not one of them. I design my own stuff, so it's very important to me that I make all my own stuff, including my trees. But there's a reason there's not 8 billion trees and there's only measured in dozens, regardless of how good they look. Trees are difficult. If they were easy, everyone would make custom trees. So for this one, it is original design. Having said that, and then I fell off like a noob when I was about to make a point. Um, Having said that, there's like a dozen of these trees around here. What I did was I designed two of the big trees, um, two of the small trees, one of the small trees, like these smaller ones right here. And then I put them all around, copy and pasted them. Um, and then went around and mixed up the blocks so they'd be different. They're not exact, but they're based on the same they're based on the same one or two designs. Mm, yeah. The towers are more obvious. They like if you look, no one's questioning that like this fizzy soda over here and then this fizzy soda over here are any different. That was one of the hardest things for me with a castle, actually keeping it symmetrical. I like very rickety, uneven builds, crooked cottages, um, mountains. I'm not used to yeah, symmetry and placing things precisely. But that's part of making a castle. It's uniform in its shapes. not using, just all amethyst in here. I'm mixing in, a lot of purple glazed terracotta. I designed this in Creative because I'm not at a point yet where I've memorized every single Minecraft block and can think of it off the top of my head. I like doing it in Creative because, I can go through the entire Minecraft block list in Creative and look at every block that might match, amethyst. That is purple wool, purple, glazed terracotta. Light blue terracotta also did match and purple, but it didn't really do anything to be tree-like. This all actually looked nice as just amethyst, but it definitely looked a little better with just a little bit of variation. So I would say only, like you're looking at it, only about 20% or even just 10% of the blocks are not amethyst for the purple blocks. Who is online right now? I didn't have chat toggled. Well, it's toggled off now. There's fun stuff going on in chat, but there can also be stuff you see on a public server. That is probably the biggest thing I like about not having 8 billion subscribers. It's that I can play on a public server. For obvious this is for obvious reasons. A public server is a less controlled place than a private server. More random things happening. If I were to become a bigger content creator, I'd gain a lot, but there's some stuff I'd lose, and I feel like it would be the ability to play on a public server. A day might come where I'd even have to choose between playing with the people I know, my friends, or playing or becoming a more successful content creator and playing on a private server. And I will 100% tell you that if this ever interrupted me playing with my friends, being a content creator, I would choose my friends any day of the week. Um, Becoming a content creator, you know, living off what you do in Minecraft of course, would be a nice thing. But a good Minecraft friend is worth way more than that. So once I get 1,000,000 subscribers, I'm gonna definitely give a shout out to all my friends and, get them to 10,000 subscribers. They're gonna join me whether they want to or not, wherever I am, and I really hope it's still here. I can't see it changing anytime soon because for the reasons I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, the variety of people here is what makes it so good, not a singular thing. And it's run by best server owner in the world, Solar, who turned my biome into a pale garden biome. And if you're wondering, am I saying that because she did that? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay, maybe I can't. Maybe I can be fucked. Thank you. You know how I said I wouldn't say who I was voting for on stream so as not to sway it by using my stream? I'm breaking that promise. I'm actually voting for, and I believe everyone should vote for. No, I'm just kidding. I am not gonna say it. But you know who you are. You know it well. Coming for you, and you're getting player of the month whether you want it or not. Eventually. I am out of purple glazed terracotta. How could you run out I mean, me. I didn't take anything from Brock. I acquired all that fair and square. Oh wait, I have some. Maybe this will be enough to maybe. Please. Please. I build these in creative. I don't realize how many materials it really hogs in survival. Like for example, I thought that it'd just take an hour to set this entire island up, but not only did it take many hours, it took a lot of off-stream block placement to even get the island done. And I wasn't even having to manage my inventory then, it was all one block. Arg, stop running out of no. Yes, I am crying because I am out of purple glazed terracotta. That is a legitimate reason to cry. I've led a I've led a very difficult life if the thing I'm crying over is purple glazed terracotta. Yeah, things have been really difficult. Really. That. Gonna do a little bit of that. A lot of that. I steal my friend's stuff when I actually have enough to make my own, but, hey, that is why I'm not never getting player of the month. I'm live streaming, pinching my own friend's materials. Well, this is my, farm area down here. I'm just, smelting some. Here's my moss my bamboo farm that breaks so frequently. I literally have those pieces of blocks to jumps these pieces of blocks placed right here to, make it start working again. And we're gonna do this stuff there. I don't know. I blame server like it's never my fault. It's always something else. And in this regard, I blame server like, although I legit think that might be the reason why it's doing this, because it works in creative. There's something going on. Back to my super smelter. Uh, going to just oh, it's all done. This should be enough. Welcome back. I didn't do anything sus while you were off stream. No need to rewatch any of it. I hope you had a very productive time at the store. So it was fruit and yogurt. You got that. So it was literally a fruitful trip to the store. Yuck, yuck. Just trying to get one of these trees done. Ow. To make this look a little tastier, actually, put in less branches than I usually do. I mean, less brown wood. I want it to kind of be more like rock candy than a purple tree. Do you like rock candy? Mm. Couldn't imagine something that's all sugar. Yep. Okay, I need amethyst. Amethyst. That's at the stone vendor. Yeah. Yep, I think I have enough amethyst and enough purple glazed terracotta to finish this tree. I've even seen rock candy being made. Someone literally took a string and dipped it in some liquid and pulled it out, and that liquid was the rock candy, and then it crystallized and hardened. So I think I'm not sure if that's how they make all rock candy, but it's kind of fun to think about. Dipping it into some sugary liquid and then hardens into crystal candy, rock candy. Maybe it's a maybe it is. No, amethyst. Yeah, that's why I'm really out. Yeah, that's why I mentioned the spawn vendors uh, on this server. Just making terrain blaze blocks easier because I'd have to probably get like 100 amethyst geodes to get enough amethyst for this build. Wait, I do have amethyst. Why was it not letting me place amethyst? Yeah, yeah, if I need any blocks, I'll let you know. Cause I would never take your blocks without your permission while you're off stream. Like, you know, what you had left of your purple glazed terracotta. Never. Never do anything so underhanded. No, you don't. You only had like less than 5 stacks. I mean, theoretically. That's just a guess. And if I got it right, I'm lucky, although those 5 stacks are officially gone. Ooh, nice. Okay, found no. I don't well, I'm very happy to steal from friends. I don't steal from friends' shops. Uh, takes a lot of work to set up a shop, not just to acquire the materials, but to make the machines, to keep it well stocked. You can stock a store, but keeping it well stocked is something else. I always pay if I go to a friend's shop, which is why, I stole yours from your base rather than your shop. I wasn't kidding, guys, when I said that Brock was the terracotta lady. But, well, let's just pull it up with this. We're gonna clutch it up with an ender pearl. There we go. That's how much of a builder I am. Instead of using ender pearls to clutch it up in PvP, I use it to quick scaffold around on my builds. Let me know in the comments, is that the lamest reason to ender pearl or the coolest reason? Uh, I'm also asking that because we're nearing the end of my stream and I want to know how many of you are here. No, I meant to do that. I I do mean to do that when I fall and shout no. There we go. Any other missing blocks on this tree? Let's just yes, there is. How can you do this to me, tree? So easy at first. Just getting those last few remaining blocks can be a Wait, I have scaffolding. I have scaffolding, and I was literally using amethyst blocks to scaffold up. Again, that was, deliberate. I knew that all along. Wait, you're here? Like, here? Watch as I totally don't go in the water and whiff this pearl. No! Not only did I whiff it and go into the water, my ender pearl made me whiff it twice into the water. Pro strats. Get over here. I ate. I've been eating all along. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, any other blocks missing? One over there. Oh, one right there. Okay, I think that has it all. There we go. One tree done. I finished a little bit of the rest of the trees. And I have no idea how long it will take to make the rest of this. There's just a lot of blocks. But I think we're making some pretty good progress. So, thanks for watching this stream. I will see you in the next one. And once again, I might do a little bit of off camera building, but I'm going to try to stream a lot of this live.